Good evening, everyone. Hopefully you can all hear us okay, and hopefully you can all see us okay. We are here tonight, of course, for Premier Sim Gaming League, for PSGL. We are here for PSF2, and it's round 10 of the championship. It has been taken, of course,
Hey, are you with us?
I am. Hello? Are you with me? Right, let's try again. Hopefully everyone can hear us. Hopefully can everyone see us as well. Good evening, everyone. My name is James, and of course, going to be taking to the stream for the Premier Sim Gaming Leagues for PSF2. Joining me in the commentary box, as you can see on the right-hand side of me, he is back from his escapades in PSF1. It is Mr. Evan Dalton. Evan, how you doing?
Hello, everybody. I briefly became the steward's report for a moment on the stream there, and we have no idea what's going on. Me and James have both been suffering some technical difficulties, but we're here tonight, and we are back for PSGL F2, and the race. Well,
should be indeed. I hope you were back with us, stream. I think I lost OBS connection there for a second there. Hopefully you can all hear us fine still. We are having quite a few technical difficulties tonight. If worse comes to worse, we will stream through the PS4, so it will be obviously without the graphics or whatever. Just technology, I think, doing us in, I think, tonight. Frankie, though, leading the way from Ricky in second in terms of the drivers' standings. And Frankie, at this moment in time, all he needs to do is take the race win outright out on track. Ricky can only score 1 point for Frankie to be crowned champion. If, of course, Ricky doesn't score any points, then, of course, it is in Frankie's frame to win the championship here tonight. Ricky, though, in terms of his championship permutations, he can't wrap up the championship. Even if he does win and picks up the fastest lap, it will be 14 points, or 15 points, I think it will be, until the final round of the championship, which, of course, is Silverstone. 17 points, of course, available, including the fastest lap point. Ricky can't win it tonight. Frankie can, though, and it's going to be interesting as we're going to immediately get on track because qualifying is already starting.
Yeah, qualifying is already starting, and the big talking point coming into this week is Ricky, ladies and gentlemen, will not be taking part in qualifying. He's a qualifying ban for this evening's Grand Prix around the United States. Now, it is a track where he can come back, thankfully, but the problem with that is, of course, Frankie could be on pole and he could be starting P20, and Ricky is not on good form. He started off the season well. Then we had Ray promoted and stuff, who took his first PSGLF win. Big congratulations to Ray, of course. And Ricky really hit the burners. He flew off into the distance in the championship. But Ricky's been very poor in the last few races. Whether it's his own fault or whether it is some luck, we'll have to wait and see. But he was really the giffen good for McLaren. He was the one thing they couldn't go without. And now he has work to do if he wants to win the championship.
He does have work to do indeed. And of course, with him picking up that qualifying ban, it is going to be a real workman-like task, I think, for Ricky to try and even wrap up points tonight, let alone, of course, wrapping up the championship here tonight. Of course, he can't physically out on track. Firefox, I think, is going to be one of the first guys out on track in the Aston Martin team. In fact, I think he is going to be one of the first out on track. I think maybe Nando is the first coming out as well, along with Tomasetto. Tomasetto's the first man out on track, along with Firefox. Both of them have been doing very well in recent weeks. Firefox, of course, hopefully not going to be going into the Ethernet tonight in terms of his connection. Hopefully everything will be stable with him. Aston Martin, of course, is the first man out on track, followed by Tomasetto, who actually can still be within mathematical chance of winning the championship, if and only if Ricky and Frankie do what they did last week and have a collision.
Yeah, look, I think he needs every little bit of luck he can get if he wants to win the title. Really, it is a two-horse race up the front with Frankie and Ricky, but anything can happen in Formula 1, and it quite usually does. But the Circuit of the Americas is the task this evening for these guys. 5.513 kilometre circuit, 3.425 miles if you are a resident of the United States of America. Ricky is out on track just to get his setup in, and then it's straight back into the pits, and no further part will be played. Frankie will he be trying to wrap up the title is the question. He won't have as much pressure on him because Ricky will be down the back, but still, Shizu Ricky needs a good race, and he arguably needs to finish in the top 5 if he wants a chance of bringing it to the final round, and if he wants a good chance of bringing it to the final round, because of course if Frankie wins the race, Ricky is in a spot of bother. But Ricky's arguably been the better driver this season, but, well, anything can happen. And qualifying, the real laps are about to get underway as Firefox is coming around the final corner.
Yeah, they are indeed coming through the final corner then. Firefox on the run towards the line. We'll take up the timing tower just on the left-hand side, just so we can see a full view on the run up the hill in towards turn number 1. Around a 40-metre rise, actually, in towards turn number 1 here in Austin, Texas. Through the left-hand then of turn number 1, on board with Firefox, and then down the hill in towards the right-hand of turn number 2. Already getting quite squirrely there on the exit of the curb. Now through turn 2, and then through what I like to call Maggots and Beckett's, but we're not in Britain just yet. Ricky's retired from the session, coming through Maggots and Beckett's section, the S section out on track, 25.5 through the first sector from Firefox. This corner always catches people out. Through turn 8 and turn 9, normally you invalidate through there. Firefox, though, making it look very easy indeed as he runs now down the hill in towards turn number 11, of course, down the 1 kilometre straight up this track. Of course, holds pretty much like the Buddha International Circuit, which if you didn't hear in real life, MotoGP is going there in 2023. Only 10 years later, of course, than Formula 1. But Firefox on the run down now into the left-hander of turn number 12. Get these sections of corners right. 12, 13, 14, 15. You're going to be laughing in terms of your lap. And Firefox cuts that curve very nicely indeed. That's a 103.3 in the middle sector. You should be expecting 102s, I think, in that middle sector towards the end of the lap. The Firefox now coming through the left-hander of 13, through 14, and then through the left-hander now of turn 15. And then in towards Max Verstappen corner at 16, 17, and 18. Famously took Kimi Raikkonen 2018 up the inside and famously got knocked off the podium as a result as well. Firefox now coming to the left-hander of turn 19 and then through the final corner of turn 20 in the Aston Martin, looking very strong indeed on this lap. Could be a 134, I think, to start off the night. Yeah, 134.4 to start off the night, but we expect times to be a lot quicker than that already by Stefano, 33.2.
Yeah, Stefano instantly beats it, and if you didn't know, James quite likes the Bud International Circuit as Will Murdoch. A man whose name was a big one at the start of the season. It's not turned out to be towards the end. He's had to spin through that Max Verstappen corner, as it is now officially dubbed. Krypton goes, very close to the top, but he's P3, and that's Araka going to 4th. We're still waiting to see some of the big dogs come across the line, as there's Narwarp gone to 3rd, and there's Shizu Ron up to the top. Ron has been quite decent this season. He's shown some good signs of pace, and he was up there near the top towards the start of the season. Ron has gone on pole position. We're waiting to see a lot of drivers actually invalidating their laps here. Luca Card is another guy who could be on a bit of a flyer here, as he's actually backed off, mind you. Nando entering turn number 1. We'll see Johan and Black Box. Black Box very good around this Circuit of the Americas. He was quite strong in his PSGL F5 years, and Luca Card does go to 2nd, so obviously didn't back off then, Evan, did he? But Luca Card, exact same lap time as Ron, and funnily enough, Daniel Ricciardo and Kimi Raikkonen did that back in 2017.
And I was watching the ball with Johan there, who had a really good final sector, 32.8 there. He goes into fourth there, and Kosos there in third as well. Black Box on a lap as well. He got caught up in a collision, of course. Luckily on the right side of collision, because Ricky, of course, picked up that qualifying ban with him last week. Of course, Logan took me through the action alongside me last week in PSF2, because somebody was lucky enough to commentate alongside Jessica Ball in PSF1. Black Box now coming through the final corner, though, on the run to the line, goes 7th in the 33 flat so far. But it's run out on top, Luca Card in second. Both with the same lap time. Ron set the lap time before Luca Cart, therefore he is out on top at this moment in time. And then Nicole's there in third, and Devon, I think, has just gone fourth there as well in the Red Bull. Nando, a one to watch out for, I think, around this track. He's now coming to the Verstappen corner at 16, 17, and 18. It is currently Ron, Luca Cart, Nicole's top three, but I think Nando has got a really good chance of getting pole position here. He was electric in Jeddah last week in qualifying, and now coming through the final corner, of course, joining the Outplayed Racing team, Invalidates coming through the final corner, would have only put him into 5th position as a result of that lap time. But the OP man has got very good pace, I've got to say, since joining the team. Nando there, of course, is going to be up there, I'm sure, towards the end.
He's got a good run here. Yeah, isn't a good run. He's gone to 8th, and like, he can definitely go quicker because he'd little to no battery. James providing a commentator's curse once again for Nando, but Nando has really impressed me this season. He's not been the quickest outright, but I just love Nando's driving style. Honestly, James says someone was lucky to commentate PSGL F1, but I genuinely was disappointed to find out I missed Nando's first win, because I have ranted and raved about him all season, and I think it's only fair he gets the correct credit. Devon so far good qualifying up in 4th, and the Red Bullman's picked up his form towards the end of the season, which is great to see, because Devon, a good man in his soul, a fantastic driver, is buried in there as well, as the first few laps aren't done, and I thought there would be a lot more validations. We're still yet to see a proper run from Firefox, Will Murdoch, Tomasetto, CC Brain, and Nando, of course, who's trundling back to the pits, and hopefully his Alpine doesn't suffer the same fate as another Nando did yesterday evening.
Yeah, definitely not. Will Murdoch's coming through the left-hand of turn 20. I think he's about to go on for a lap. Blood Mania, by the way, in the comment section saying, honestly think Guys Comms is better than F1, should be on the TV. Thank you so much for that comment.
Hear that, Sky Sports?
Hey, that George Morgan, we're coming to get you, I think. We might be commentating on Euro Formula Open maybe next season. Who
knows? Out, George. You had decent last week. Euro Formula is next, as Will Murdoch is looking to enter sector number 1. James, of course, called it Maggots and Beckett's, which is technically true, because Herman Tilke did model it off Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel section. There's another few corners, of course. 16, 17, 18's complexes Will does back off, but the 16, 17, 18 complex is modelled after Istanbul Park, and then the second sector, or end of the second sector, start of the third sector, is modelled after the Hockenheim ring, actually. So still lots of reminiscent corners, I suppose you could say, from our other favourite racing circuits, and it really makes a good mix here in Circuit of the Americas. Personally, I think it's a brilliant testing track. I don't know why F1 don't go here more often, probably by financial issues, but it's a brilliant track for testing, it's a brilliant track for bikes, and I suppose it beats the metaphor. It's a jack of all trades, master of all. There's 9 minutes and 24 to go in qualifying. We still are getting ready to go on the second laps, but Nicosos is he's actually backed off on one of his runs, or no, that could just be the outlap glitch that we are seeing. Nicosos got to be one of the first ones to start a new lap.
Yeah, Stefano actually is on a lap at the minute, coming to the left-hand of turn number 10. Nearly Validates actually coming down the hill there through turn number 10, but it's looked quite good so far. He was a little bit offline coming through the S section, through the second part of the S section, through turns 5 and 6. And it's so difficult to get that right. We saw Will Murdoch going a little bit slow, obviously, through there. He backed off on the exit of turn number 6. He didn't feel he got that S section completely right. Stefano, though, did, and he's on a very good run coming through the middle sector. Coming through the left-hander now of turn number 12, and then in towards the right-hander of turn number 13. 102.5 is up there. It's not going to be the quickest, I don't think, because Ron was a 102.3 in the middle sector. So Stefano is on a lap, though. The OP man now coming to the left-hander of turn number 15. Of course, in towards Verstappen corners at 16, 17, and 18. Ron currently out on top, Luca Card in second, Nicole's there in third. Many drivers may tend not to actually improve on their lap time. It is a proven fact that normally when you get to the end of the session here in Austin, normally you don't improve. As Stefano, I think, is going to buck that trend as he now comes to the left-hander of turn number 20 on the run to the line, and he goes into 7th with a 1:32.9. Not a bad lap there from Stefano.
We're going to see what Nikosas can do in the middle sector. Of course, we're looking for 102s-ish, and Nikosas 102.3. Quite impressive. He's up by about 0.2 of a second, and a bit of a mistake there as he heads through 14 and 15. But yeah, realistically, drivers are going to struggle towards the end of the session because of those track limits. You do see guys pushing too much, which you should be pushing to your maximum come the end of the session. But we're going to see what Nikosas can do. He rounds the penultimate corner of 19, heading in towards 20, and then the run to the line. We'll see. It's not a bad run so far, but he might have lost a little bit of time there in the final sector. No, he doesn't. Nikosas goes to the top with a 32.6. We'll see, is there a response from Ron? He has beaten Nikosas in the middle sector. We'll have to wait and see what he can do from here. Lukakart, it has invalidated his lap as Axa to the top.
Yeah, Axa goes quickest. Great lap from the FER, man. We saw Masiek there at the start of the stream, just before we came live, actually, mentioning about Team Axa. Team Axa well and truly in full swing. First, currently, Nikosas there in second. Ron in third. He has looked very scrappy, I've got to say, though, on this lap, especially through that middle sector. The AlphaTauri now coming to the final corner on the run towards the line. And yeah, that scrappiness. Indeed, he's just another same lap time as Nikosas. Unbelievable. Lukakart, by the way, invalid through the middle sector.
Ron, wow, exactly. Like, that's actually really impressive. It's the exact same lap as two drivers, and he must be kicking himself. Because, of course, the rule is in real Formula 1. I'm not quite sure if it applies in the game sometimes. Whoever sets the lap first gets the position. Ron, that allowed him to get the spot for the last time, not this time. He is in third. Black box is up to the first sector, but it's nothing too impressive. We'll have to wait and see. Does the Alfa Romeo improve more in the second?
Yeah, I think, honestly, Black Box, 25.2 first sector, maybe the fastest first sector I think I've seen all night. Certainly of drivers that we've been on board with anyways.
Forget everything I said, because I didn't think it was the fastest sector at all. He was only a little bit up, so he's obviously really good through that first sector. We'll see the second sector here, and I'm not going to give him a comment on it, just in case.
102.4, yeah, he's a little bit down. Says it's purple in the middle sector. I would take that, honestly, with a bit of pinch of salt. Yeah,
Ron went quicker, he did a 102.2.
He did indeed, yeah. Black Box 102.4. Comparison around a 10th and a half, I think, off at this stage, Black Box compared to Ron at this moment. But, of course, final sector is make or break as now comes through turn 19. Much more committed, actually, than Ron coming through that. Yeah, left-hander turn 19. Now the left-hander turn 20.
Going to be a big one, and as he goes to fourth, it's not too bad. But Nando, there he is. There is the Alpine returning to the top after Saudi Arabia, and that's the lap we were all expecting to be real. It's a 32.455 for Nando with 5 minutes and 17 to go. Will we get anyone beating it? We'll have to wait and see. As Devon has just started. Oh no, he's just off a run, I believe, because he's low battery. And Frankie, we still haven't seen a second attempt from yet.
Yeah, Frankie actually spun on his full run, and that's why he decided to come back in the pit lane. He spun coming out of turn 15, at turn 13 and 14 even, so just before the left-hander going through the Verstappen corner at the end of the final sector. That is where he spun, coming through just basically the start of the final sector. So Frankie spun. He's currently there in 8th position. Of course, Ricky doesn't need to be too concerned about it at this stage. There was a yellow flag in sector 3. I think it's one of the Hassels going slow. I think it's a Rocker that's run out of fuel. He has indeed. A Rocker has run out of fuel down in 12th. Aries is up in the first sector, 25.3. But again, like Black Box, a little bit off in the first sector.
Yeah, and CC Brain had a bit of a moment heading out of turn 11. He put it in a decent first sector, but had a little bit of a moment, and now is trundling back to the pits. But we'll see what Aries' middle sector is. It's a 102.6. It's a little bit off. It's no pole time. But unless he does get a third sector in well, and he started off poorly with a bit of a mistake.
Yeah, Luke, by the way, saying in the chat, Mr. Luke Etheridge, good evening to you. Who are we predicting for pole? Because, yeah, Aries has backed off. Man out on top is who I would have went for pole position. Nando, I was quite confident with him coming into tonight. He has been proving, ever since he's joined Outplayed Racing, I think he's been an absolute different driver. And it's so good to see because you've seen that level of improvement. We've seen with Ray, obviously, at the start of the season, how he's improved, obviously performing at the top level in F1. Nando, I think, if he really puts the effort in F2 this season, and obviously going into next season if he stays in F2, he is going to be, honestly, one of the drivers to watch, not only in here in F2, but on the PS platform, because I honestly think he has absolutely excelled himself in recent weeks.
Yeah, I think Nando's been very well. I definitely think he's one to watch, but the last time I made a prediction around Kota with you, James, it didn't end well. So we're not going to go for that one again. But I definitely think Nando, I think it's just a mentality thing since he's joined OP. He had the pace, he had the talent, but I think now he just believes in himself a bit more. And that's a really important thing for a racing driver, just to believe you have the abilities to win.
Well, I've lost Evan at this moment in time, but hopefully you can all hear me still. Commentating through OBS at the minute because I've just seemed to have lost connection on Discord. That was very strange indeed. Evan Dalton, are you back with me?
I am. I've no idea what's going on with Discord, but we'll wait and see, and we'll wait and see as Frankie's left. Any better than my laptop at the moment through the first sector. It wasn't an improvement for the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, it wasn't an improvement from the Alfa Romeo, about 600s down in the first sector. We are having quite a few technical difficulties. I'm having issues, I think, on my end as well. So obviously the stream is going to obviously cope as a result. Hopefully we can get through it. If not, we're going to switch obviously to PS4 and hopefully not miss the start of the race if it still plagues us in terms of the issues. But Frankie has indeed actually backed off his lap down the back straight. So Frankie down there in 8th, 32.8. Nando currently out on top, 32.4. Axe second, Nicholson in third. But now we're getting into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, nitty-gritty, 1:23 to go in the session. Lots of people out laps, and this is when it matters most. This is when it counts, as we see Axie backing off. The Haasman's got to go for a run here, and this needs to be a great first sector for Axie, because that makes or break your lap. Of course, he doesn't have time for two. Frankie was clever. He made a mistake, but he had enough time for a second run. As Axie across the line, the Haasman, he is less than a tenth of a second off pole position of Nando, and Axie wants to impress his FVR team as he's braking just on the white line. You can kind of see in towards turn 1. Fourth gear rotation through there. This is a flat-out turn 2 easily, as somebody has improved there. I believe, what is it, Johan? It was Johan who's improved actually to 10th spot, and Axie flying through the first sector through the lefts and the right. Never-ending swooping section. As he gets up here, he is improving in the first sector. It's a 25-1 for the Haas, right on the limit of track limits. Push all your car over onto the curb and try not to make a silly corner cut there as you head down in towards the braking zone for turn 11. Braking just after the 100-meter board, downshift to third gear, short shift all the way up until you reach the exit. New sponsorship there is kind of a guide for where you can get your right front on.
Oh, I tell you what, sorry Evan, I'm going to have to cut you off because I'm on board with Now Up and he's 4.5 tenths up in the middle sector. Ooh. Purple out of everyone in the middle sector. We'll go on board with Axe soon, and Rocker's just gone third as well.
Rocker's gone to third.
Yeah, really good lap time by the FBR boys. Axe currently in second, and Rocker there in third. Now Up is on an absolute huge lap up though here, coming there through the left-hander of turn 19, the QRT man, who was up there in qualifying last week. Put it on the front row of the grid alongside Nando. Now Up now around the final corner. Going to try and trouble Nando on the run to the line, and he does it. 32.3. Really good lap time from him. Nando's not responding in the first sector. Axel 1 or 2-1 in the middle sector. He's responding.
Is responding. Here we go. Final corner. Crucial corner. His battery's all gone, but his power is still there. Across the line, the Haasman is on pole. Nando was down in the first sector. It was a 25-2. We'll see what the Alpine can do.
Nicolso's down in the middle sector as well. He's now coming to the Verstappen corner at 16, 17 and 18. Currently looking to try and improve the FMD man, but it's Axie out on top. Now up there in second. Nando there currently in third. We'll go on board with Nando shortly. Nicolso still's invalidated.
Devon's gone to third. What a lap for the Red Bull. Nando's not improving by enough. It's a 102.223 for him in the middle sector. It's not enough so far.
Yeah, final sector though was obviously going to be absolutely key for Nando. Now coming to the right-hander at turn 18. Now to the left-hander at turn number 19. Nando was on the limit. He misses the curb there slightly through turn 19. And now tries to get the traction out of turn 20 through the final corner on the run to the line. It's going to be close, you know. Nando, 32.3, does improve in the end. Only stays fourth though. A Rocker's invalidated on his lap. I think Firefox is out there, if I'm not mistaken. He only goes 17th. That then is the end of qualifying. A wild and wacky qualifying. And it is that man there, Axe, outside top. Who would have predicted that for pole position? Now up there in second. Devon in third. Nando in fourth. Both Alfa Romeos, by the way, down in 9th and 10th, including championship leader Frankie, who is halfway down the field. And Nicole Sauce has picked up a 5-second penalty for illegal blocking. And he's illegally blocking an AI car when he's in AI mode. Do not get that at all.
Yeah, it's a glitch that's been happening. We've seen it in different leagues. I've seen it in many different leagues. But just another guy to note, Ari's big improvement on his final lap to 50. AlphaTauri beats his teammate once again in qualifying. But lap of the day was Narwarp. He put himself right up there in the mixer for pole position. And the Williamsman did pip Nando, but Devon pipped Nando as well. So Nando from pole to fourth in a matter of minutes.
Yeah, really good laps indeed in that qualifying section. Of course, there's no formation up here tonight once again, so that means we're obviously going to be getting into the action very soon indeed. But we'll run you through the full grid order in just a second. And Taxe out on top from now up there in second, Devon in third and Nando in fourth. And I mean, 500ths of a second covering the top four. Cannot get any closer than that here in Austin, Texas. Ari's there in fifth, Aroka there in sixth. Nicole Sauce, as a result of that 5-second penalty, which honestly should be removed, I think. Ron, Blackbox, Frankie, Johan, and Luca got all game position. So Frankie actually starts 9th championship leader. Nicole Sauce there will be down in 12th. Then it's Stefano in 13th, Tomasetto in 14th, Krypton there in 15th, Will Murdoch in 16th, Firefox in 17th, and Jake Marsh in 18th, CC Brain in 19th, and championship second, Ricky right down at back of the field. We are going to take a slight intermission break. Hopefully we might fix OBS in the meantime. We'll be back in about 30 seconds. Welcome back, everyone, to PSGL. We are here for F2. We are here, perhaps, for the championship finale in Austin, Texas. Of course, Frankie out on top in terms of the championship, not out on top in terms of qualifying. 15 seconds ago, Mr. Evan Dalton. What are we expecting tonight?
Well, Lewis Hamilton in 2019 became the first driver to win 2 titles in America. Of course, Frankie, he needs a lot if he wants to win it tonight, but I think we're in for an absolute cracker of a Grand Prix. I can't make a prediction. It is way too close.
It is going to be way too close indeed. The 5 lights now coming hot here in Austin, Texas. Round 10 of the championship and PSF2. And it is lights out and away we go, and Axe gets a very good start off the line. Now Upgo's going to be alongside up the hill and towards turn number 1. Great start from Morocco, has already gone through Nando, maybe going past Aries and towards turn number 1 as well. But now up down the inside of Axe, tries to get the lead of the race through turn number 1. Everyone I think has cleaned through okay in the background. There was a Haas being caught up there in the background. I think maybe Morocco there slightly lost a position, but Axe there leads the way from the S section. From now up in second, Devon there in third. Red Bull right on the back there of the Williams as they come through. Will Murdoch and Jake Marsh are trading positions further down the field, but it's Axe who leads the way through the first sector. Now up there in second, Devon in third. All sorts of scrimmaging, 3 wide almost as we now come through turn 8 and 9. That's between Nicole Sauce, Johan and Tomasetto. And Nicole Sauce, of course, with that 5-second penalty, he's right down toward the back end of the field at this stage. CC Brain and Krypton are also going side by side now into the left-hander of turn number 11 as well. But it's Axe who leads the way, 600 per second, and Will Murdoch's been spun by Jake Marsh. I think he got caught up with Ricky perhaps as well in that incident. But Axe leads, now up second, Devon in third, and Aries gone through in a rocker.
Wilmore got a little bit airborne there. That was a weird crash indeed. As Nicosas big dive on Stefano. Stefano covers the inside. The McLaren finds no way through. Wheel banging, entering in towards turn number 13. Oh, so close between the back markers here, but up the front it was a solid start from Axie, you gotta say. As there's still dives going in left, right, and centre. Nando and Araka here. This could be a right tussle through 16, 17 as Aries gets all out of shape. Here comes Araka. Oh, so lucky to not make contact. Nando pulls a blind around the outside. The Alpine's up to 5th.
Yeah, he is. Walker struggling up the start, but look at Frankie already gaining 2 positions up the start as well. And nearly runs into the rear end there of the Haas in front. But Axo leads the way. Now up there in second, Devon in third. There was a huge dive from Nicole Sauce there, who's nearly caught Stefano napping. And now Tomasetto run 3 wide down in towards turn 1. We can't keep up with everything. Frankie and Araka's going side by side as well, I can see. And now Nicole Sauce just sends it down the inside line of Tomasetto, who goes way too late on the brakes. Stefano now is through. Nicole Sauce, I don't know what he's driving like at this stage. Currently there in 14, just needs to calm it down, I think, a little bit. But Axe there leads, now up second, Devon in third, and Frankie did get that move on a rocker.
Oh, look at the Kosas again, and he's in the wall now of the race. Oh, that was inevitable, unfortunately. And you said it was a wacky qualifying. It was like the wacky races here, as retro safety car has been called out. And the Kosas out, and horror show for McLaren so far on the US.
Yeah, unfortunate, I think, for the Coal Sauce, but then again, that's what you go.
Yeah, there was
Certainly in
some
the first.
stupid moves there.
Yeah, certainly in the first couple of laps, you go gung ho basically in terms of every single move, and that is what you're going to get. Unfortunately, if you're appearing like that out on track. Unfortunately, of course, I think the Colossus may be a little bit slightly on the edge of rage as a result of that 5-second penalty, which of course was not his fault. It was illegal blocking. But obviously, can only give as much as can be gived, I think, out on track in terms of the Colossus out of the race. He'll be very disappointed. I know he can come back next week. I know he can certainly deliver a better performance than what he did in the first 2 laps there. And I'm sure he will look back on that and think, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. Should have just kept it calm, kept it clean. And obviously, that's what we want, and that's what our viewers want.
Yeah, don't let those moves make your mind up on the driver that Kostas is. He's a fabulous Grand Prix driver, and we'll see a fabulous race from him. Hopefully in Silverstone in Buckinghamshire. But here we go then. Restart. This could be a crucial one as Ron's on the back of a rocket here. Ron down 1 spot to 8th, of course. In terms of the strategy, every single driver's on the hard compound tyres. It's not a difficult one for you folks, thankfully, because everything else has been quite complicated so far, as the gap at the front is still only about 0.5 of a second, nothing gained nor lost under the virtual safety car.
Yeah, black box all over the back of Ron in the meantime, coming through the S section, of course, mirroring the Japan S section, the Maggots and Beckett's S section, of course, at Silverstone. Luca caught right on the back of black box as well. I think made a slight mistake there, the Alfa Romeo currently in 9th. Luca caught there currently in 10th. I think that's going to be the next move, potentially. Going to be going maybe even towards turn 11, because DRS is now on 9. Luca caught, of course, using a bit ERS coming out of turn number 9. But now, running down the left-hander of turn number 11. Actually leads the way now up in second, Devon in third. Not sure you're going to see many changes up and down the field at this stage. But Luca Kart certainly on the back of Black Box could be a 1 down the straight. Black Box, I think, is just running better straight line speed. He is pulling away from Luca Kart down in towards the left-hander of turn number 12. And remain as we are.
We'll be seeing a little bit more from Black Box here. I really thought he'd be making a few moves. He's quite a quick runner compared to some of the guys in front. But maybe just struggling at this little bit in the race. Of course, we're only 3 laps or so in. It's still early days, and of course the strategy is almost identical for everybody, so there's not much variation here unless somebody tries a 2-stop, but that's a silly idea if you want to try 2-stop unless we get some form of safety car, as Black Box is still pushing behind Ron, but a little bit of a stalemate. Everybody is just keeping a close eye on the guy in front and behind. As here comes Nando, actually. Nando not hanging about.
And in fact, actually now it's going for the race lead down the inside of Axay, just in front of camera shot. Axay now gets the switch back out of turn number 1, but now up is through. Didn't even see that battle come off, to be honest. Now up leads the way. Axay there in second, Devon there in third, Ari's there in fourth, and again Axay tries to go side by side, coming through the S section there at turn number 3, and now side by side actually through the S section. Black Box, and that was never going to work. Both of them caught up in an instant. Luca caught and Black Box round. I think Luca caught and got the move done. Round on the outside line. Black Box has been spun as well, and Black Box again, for must have been the 7th or 8th time I think this season, has been caught up in some form of incident. That's probably not his fault. Unfortunate. What's not unfortunate though is Nando down the inside line of Aries, down in towards turn 11, gets the job done, force him out wide. Beautiful move by Nando. He's into 4th.
Nando loves a bit of an overtake here in PSGL F2 as yeah, Black Box and Luca Kart, unfortunately. Black Box has had no luck this season, literally none, and yeah, he told us in a pre-race interview once that he was going to win a race this season, but I can't really see how he's doing it. It's Stefano, another bit of a send on Tomasetto.
Nice.
And Stefano's pulled that one off quite beautifully for the Alpine. The 2 Alpines are the 2 movers in this race, and they are going up and up as Stefano 4 spots as well as Tomasetto behind. But Stefano now well and truly in the points as Ricky and CC Brain.
Yeah, beautiful move by Ricky. CC Brain got caught all out of shape coming out of turn number 12. And Ricky now through and he's into 13th. Another position gain for the championship second. Currently, Frankie in 6th. Not doing enough to wrap up the championship at this stage. CC Brain there on the back, obviously, of Ricky. There was a comment, by the way, which I'm just going to pick up on board. I'll go back on board with CC Brain and Ricky, because that looks like quite a close battle at this stage. I think it was Laura in the comment section as there's a yellow flag, and then there's Luca Kart round out at turn 19. Yeah, indeed. And I think that might be a retirement, maybe?
Yeah, quite possibly, I believe. As, yeah, there we go. He sped into the pits, and that's normally a key indicator as our second retirement of the races. Jake Martian, oh no, Firefox, actually, it's horrible lap for Aston Martin. Firefox has gone round, and I thought Jake Martian pulled off a pretty good move into turn 1. They were battling, but Firefox has gone round, and Yeah, that's unfortunate for Aston Martin, but it's not looking like it's going to be a point-scoring day here
Yeah.
at Texas.
Yeah, I've just seen that on the replay on the stream. He's just spotted it coming out of turn number 1 and unfortunately got 2 lit up on the rears. In the end, though, obviously he is still going to be going in this race down there in 18th position. Hopefully he can keep on continuing. Laura, by the way, in the chat saying, does anyone know the camera settings while they're watching this? Please say yes. Yes, we are watching this literally through the cameras that are provided us through the game. And it's literally me with a controller controlling what you're seeing out on track. Black Box there in 16th, Will Murdoch in 17th, going for battle down and towards turn 12. Jake Marsh completely, absolutely butchers that up. Sorry, in fact, no, Will Murdoch absolutely butchers that up. Black Box there and he's into 16th, Will Murdoch there in 17th. And yeah, all it is to it in commentary, certainly from my end anyways.
I think they meant the onboard cameras, James. I think they meant the onboard
cameras. Broadcast and TV pod. There you go.
Well, there we go. James doesn't lead race, or to my knowledge, so it will be probably the standard camera. As you should lead race, James. It will be fun. We need a PSGL commentators race. As Devon is actually on the move a little bit here. He's looking to get past Axie. And I think Devon is being forced to attack because it's a real case of attack or be attacked, because Nando is hot on the heels of the Oracle Red Bull racing car in front as they head through Sector 1. Devon looking very solid in this race, I have to say. Usually we'd see a little bit of a slide from some of the guys who haven't been having the best of seasons running high up, but Devon is looking absolutely icy cool as he heads through Sector 1, and knowing my very unlucky voice, he'll probably spin come the end of the sector.
He may do. Devon there in third, though. I've got to argue, though, against you. I think Aries is looking quite quick in this pack. He's there in 5th position, on the back of Nando. Nando, as well, is just beginning to lose, I think, a little bit of momentum on the back of Devon. And Aries, at this moment in time, is going to try and challenge. In fact, his teammate's going to challenge Ron down the inside on of Rocker, down the straight, in towards turn number 12. Job done for Ron. He's through, and he's into 7th, the Estonian, on the back there of the Frenchman of Rocker. And Rocker now says sayonara and goodbye, says Ron, to P7 at this moment in time. That really didn't work out.
No, it didn't. And I just hope you know that. But Ron, actually, he's gone a little bit under the radar. He's P12 in the championship, but Ron has looked solid in different races this season. One that stands out for me for Ron was the second race of the season in Miami. He finished P3, picking up 10 points. And I think we might have our first little disconnect here from the pack. Aries is starting to drop on the back of Nando. Nando is just relentlessly pushing to keep up with this front three. And Narwarp and Axie, I'm not even too sure if they've started stretching their legs yet, but this front four seems to be the battle we're going to have till the end and battling for the win. But James, one thing I've noticed, take a look at those grey clouds over sector number 1. Could we possibly have some rain over Travis County here in the United States?
Potentially so. To be honest, I've never been really looking at the weather around here. I'm normally on this in terms of seeing the clouds beginning to build. To be honest, they haven't really changed from the race start. Obviously, we're now about 10-15 minutes into the race. And at this moment in time, certainly it is clouding over. Maybe not looking on the threat of rain at this moment in time. But of course, I am always wrong in terms of these commentaries, and I'm probably going to be wrong with what I've just said there. Now, though, under pressure from Axie. Axie is going to be 5 tenths off him. Nicolas, though, has disconnected. He's already out the race, obviously, so he's left the session. We thank him, though, for standing still. Everyone they're running down in towards the left-hand return number 12. Cryptid on the back of Johan, looking quite close. And at the minute, Mercedes leading the Red Bull 11th and 12th position. Where have we seen that? In Singapore. Will Murdoch, as well, has lost a lot of time to Black Box. Clearly no practice, I think, in for Will Murdoch there, down in 17. I think you're right, Evan. I think you are absolutely correct in terms of the weather conditions putting over. And I'll tell you something as well. A rocket now becoming the cork in the bottle, losing a second to Frankie. And to Ron, even.
I thought it'd be Aries, but Aries...
Aries is spun!
Never mind, it is Aries. He's gone round, heading through turn 19, and oh, that's so unfortunate for the AlphaTauri, because I was going to say he started pushing and gained about 5/10 of a second, but that pushing has led him to drop to P15 in this one, as Jake Marsh sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. That's not something you thought you'd be saying today, but fair play to Jake. He's not had much practice coming into this one, but still running with the pack here, and it's definitely getting a little bit dull in Sector 1. Whether it is just a spot of bad cloud or a bit of rain, we'll have to wait and see, but it's certainly starting to dull over, and with every single driver starting on the hard tyres, it would make me think maybe there is a chance of some rain. Whether it's going to actually rain or not, only time will tell. But the USA is normally a bit of a mixed bag in terms of weather, so we could definitely see some wet patches in a few moments' time, as lots of gainers here in this one. But the gap up the front is 9/10 of a second, as Devon is all over the back of the Hassman, could try a move in the next few laps.
Yeah, definitely so. Devon on the back of Axie down into the left-hand of turn number 12. There is a yellow flag, and that is for Firefox once again. So Firefox, unfortunately, sending... I'm not even going to repeat from that I said earlier on. I'm just not going to bother. Luca Courtney down in 18. Sorry, Firefox down in 18. He is unfortunately spun, and I imagine it'll be, of course, a double disconnect, I think, for the Aston Martins in this race. Now up though is now gap Axie to a second. I think Axie might have made a middle mistake there, coming through the middle sector, and now coming through the final sector. Axie is really under pressure from Devon. Nando trying to pressurise Devon there as well. Second, third and fourth beginning to get going in terms of the battle. Now up though, look at that, fastest lap of the race, got him out of DRS, and now Frankie's at the fastest lap of the race. Is Devon once again on the back of Axie, closing quick. Not going to get the move done.
No, I thought he was going to go for. Would have personally loved him to go for it. So it'll be a bit of a dive bomb as Will Murdoch retires in the pits. He's had enough today. It's another spot for Firefox, but unfortunately that's one of two Ferraris out of this Grand Prix. It's now all on Jake Marsh, the Briton, to try score some points for the Italian outfits. But Devon, if he could play his cards right here, could find himself in second by the end of the lap, as actually used more ERS than Nauorp. So the only thing I can think of is a mistake for the Haas.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, Nauorp's now a second and a half clear, and look at his pace. He's just picking up the pace ever more, and this is looking very impressive. Firefox, by the way, back in the pit lane, retiring the car as predicted. Yeah, Devon right on the back now of Axie, got him out of slipstream range, and now Devon through and he's into second. So Axie there down into third. What was a very good start, now losing 2 positions. On the left-hand side, you can see the position gains. Ricky has gained 8, 6 positions gained for CC Brain, 5 gained for Stefano and Tomasetto, and we're already through about a third of the race, as that yellow flag is for Firefox's AI, who is coming out of the pit lane, which is unfortunate. Now what will leads the way, Devon in second, Axie Devon third, now Axie really under pressure from Nando.
Yeah, actually really under pressure from Nando. Arocca really under pressure from Stefano. And the two Alpines are piling the pressure on the Hasses. So, yeah, this could be an interesting one. It is getting darker, but there doesn't seem to be any rain so far. We're down to 16 runners, of course. Black Box is the last one, as Aries has made a bit of a mistake through that corner he spun through, and it seems like Aries has just lost his mojo a little bit, as Devon is trying to pull the gap on Axie, but Nauorp is just absolutely clear at the front of the grid here. The Williams is also quick at this stage in the race.
Yeah, certainly so. Now I think is looking very impressive. He was impressive last week in Saudi Arabia for the most part of that race. He ended up, obviously, I think, finishing well down, a little way down the field. But now was good in qualifying, now producing the performance in the race. And again, like Ray, like I said early on in the season, I think this is now real cut, as that Nando's just gone off track coming out of turn number 9, and this is going to let Frankie through and into 4th. Surely the Alfa Romeo's going to be down the inside line. And the Alfa Romeo is down the inside line, through and he's into 4th. Nando makes an absolute shocking mistake coming out of turn number 9, and now he's going to try and get him back on the DRS, running down the straight. They've both got DRS, in fact, running down the straight, and now Nando trying to turn that negative into a positive, closer to the inside line. Frankie pushing him all the way to the left-hand side of the track. Nando, though, so deep on the brakes. Beautiful move, that man. If he can keep that, that is going right in the record books. Nando through, and he's into 4th, turning a negative into a positive, but still, Frankie battles on.
This is the reason Frankie didn't want to give him the inside apologies, and that's why Nando is just so good at overtaking. The pace mightn't be his, but he is certainly one of the best overtakers on this PSGL F2 grid. It is getting really, really dull here over the circuit of the Americas, and I know I keep piping on about the rain, but we really might see some soon, as Frankie runs wide. Might have picked up a warning there, you know. We do not have a penalty on the grid just yet. Hopefully it stays like that. I do love seeing a non-penalty race, but they are very rare around the circuit of the Americas, as Ricky is trying to get past Krypton. Ricky needs to make more progress and needs to make it ASAP.
Yeah,
there we go. There's the penalty. The minute I mention it.
And there's the commentator's curse for Michael, commentator, who was in PSF1 last week. Evan Dalton. Ricky though down into P12. Yeah, I think honestly he's struggling in terms of his pace. And obviously he's been rattled as a result of getting that qualifying ban. But Ricky now coming to the S section, looks on it. He looks on the back of Krypton. This is going to be an interesting battle for two reasons. One, because Ricky wants to try and get one over on Krypton in terms of the stewards report last week. And two, Ricky wants to gain points, I think, in terms of the championship. And he's only 2 positions off at this stage. At this moment in time, Frankie not doing enough. Ricky, if he scores points, he now limits the damage to Frankie, as Nando is right on the back of Axel.
Yeah, of course, Krypton is Krypton's the head
speed.
steward here. Is Johan is about to go past Axel. That's an unbelievable straight line speed. Johan hasn't been able to make a move on Tomasetto, and Ricky has been able to make a move on Krypton. But of course, Krypton is head steward in PSGL. He makes some key stewarding decisions for all the tiers. Doesn't necessarily do many for F2, I believe, because of course he races here, being a little bit biased. But yeah, Ricky wants to pull one over because of receiving the qualifying ban, for instance, with Black Box in Saudi Arabia. But we're on lap 11 out of 28, and Narwarp now leads the Grand Prix by 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's really impressive pace from Narwarp at this stage. It's looking awesomely quick, I think, from the QRT man. So far, so good. Normally when I say that, though, all things come to an end for Narwarp, and normally sort of commentators curse him. Hopefully not, though, tonight. Hopefully doing a good job. He's still obviously in the lead of this race. Stefano on the back of a Rocker as well. A Rocker, to be fair, he certainly doesn't have the pace compared to the top 6 at this stage. But a Rocker has stuck in there quite well. Down in 7th, he's only lost around a second over the last 6 or 7 laps. And Stefano's running the back of him, still yet to get past. So a Rocker there, in 7th, doing a good job.
A Rocker, of course, there's that famous phrase, it's one thing to catch, it's another to get past, and a Rocker is really making that true. Unless he's just running unbelievable straight line speed or something, I really don't know how he's staying in front of Stefano. Stefano mightn't have the bravery on the brakes, and that can be an issue for some drivers. They can just be a little bit too timid, and in some cases could cost them a championship. Just like Ricky, maybe he needs to get a little bit more creative and get past Krypton, but Krypton is running a really good race behind Johan, and this whole Krypton-Ricky CC Brain battle is from Stefano not getting past a Rocket, and you can see here a Rocket using up all his battery, but stays ahead, and that's the big thing here. Don't be afraid to use your battery to defend, and a Rocket is doing this beautifully.
Harry's gets the job done on Jake Marsh further down the field as well. He's into 14th. Of course, Jake Marsh for the second time this season. First time with Evan Dalton not being there. Picking up points last week, of course, Jake Marsh finishing in, I think it was P10 at the stage, and he only picked up a point, of course, but doing a good job, and he's still there in 15th position, and anything could happen still in this race. As now leads the way, Devon in second, Nando in third. Tomasetto now the latest to pick up a 3-second penalty out of turn 19, which is typically the moment where you obviously track extend out on track. I'm still looking at the onboards at this stage, certainly of Stefano. I swear I saw raindrops a few seconds ago, but I think it is just cloudy at this stage.
We could say, but just speaking on the other Alpine here quickly, look at that gap. Devon's gone up the top. Devon has absolutely legged it, and he is trying to pull the DRS gap on Nando, and it's where he's done it. He's pulled it. And if Devon can just keep it clean here through the S's, Nando might just sneak back in. Yeah, Nando's definitely snuck back in. But yeah, Devon showing really good pace here, and fair play to Devon. He's not had the luck necessarily this season, but he's proving he's still got the talent here in PSGL F2 United States Grand Prix. As Nando will gain a bit of time, but that gap was initially over 1 second. Nando very lucky to keep it within 1 second just before the activation point.
Ricky and Krypton, I think, were going to get bashed in towards out of turn number 11. I think down in towards turn number 12, though, not going to be the case, and everyone is going to run still in a solo train out on track at this stage. We're all hopping on board, of course, the Rocket train that is still in 7th position. Stefano there in 8th, and Tomasetto there currently down in 9th. But another one that is being gapped is Frankie, down in 5th position, being gapped by Axe, nearly outside of a second, just comes back win 9/10 of a second now coming through, as Ricky has sent one on Krypton down the inside of turn 15, which I missed. Ricky threw and he's into 11th.
Yeah, Krypton had a bit of a wobble, and Ricky said, right, you know what, I'm having this one, and he's taken Krypton to the shops. Nando is into the pits, actually into the pits. Here we go. This is the strategy game that's coming into play. Obviously no rain expected, and at halfway distance in the race they're going to go for the medium compound tyres.
If they go softs now, there's rain due in about 5 minutes, but it is set of mediums for Nando. I think it is just cloud cover over the circuit. Axe going for set of mediums. Frankie also in for a set of medium compound tyres. There, of course, is right down at the back of the field at this stage. What does Narwarp and Devon do at this point? If you were in their shoes, Mr. Evan Dalton, what would you do now? Would you react to the pit stop, or would you continue a few laps and think that the rain potentially is going to be coming?
Of course, they have their various different radar systems. If I were now I'm coming into the pits, Devon is hunting him down. If I'm Devon, stay out maybe. Just try something different. Nothing really to lose for Devon, but Narwarp, he's been clawed in by the Red Bull, and maybe Narwarp reacts to an undercut attempt from Nando. Nando's come out in clean air, he's 8.4 seconds behind Black Box. But yeah, it's a real tricky one here.
Stefano right on the back of a rocker. Look at the straight line speed as he's just been shot out of a cannon down the inside of turn number 12. Job done for Stefano. He's through and he's into 4th, and now he's making up positions as well. He's through and he's into 10th on the back of CC Brain. So Ari's through and he's into 10th, and then a rocker down into 5th because Stefano now up in the 4th. A rocker's still staying in there. Stefano though, purple middle sector out of everyone, and that really means that as Johan goes to switch back out of perfection, as Tomasetto now tries to go all the way around the outside, coming through 16, 17 and 18. It was a switch back from Johan, now on the inside line. Round the outside goes Tomasetto though, and the Italian just about holds it. Beautiful move by Tomasetto. That is racing at its finest, and now Johan comes and pits along with Ricky, and everyone's pretty much in. Tomasetto though stays out.
Everyone in, nobody trying the Evans strategy, as Ricky's in as well, and Tomasetto's the only one to stay out. And here we go then. Let's see how this one works out between Nando and Frankie. Nando rounding the final corner as we wait and see where Narwarp is coming out of the pits. And oh, Nando is here, and Nando might get past Devon. Is he gonna get past Narwarp? We'll have to wait and see. Gonna have to try a bit of a switchback manoeuvre. Round the outside through the S's, wobble on the exit for Nando, but he's going to have to try go past the Red Bull, and I think Devon might just hold this one here through the S's. Narwarp is certainly clear up the front. Devon, if he stayed at one more lap, he might have been a goner, you know. I think Devon's made a great call.
Yeah, I think Nando honestly just needs to sit and wait back and obviously hold the back of Devon. And Devon now, his tyres will probably be up to temperature, I would say, at this stage. Coming out of turn number 9, through the left-hander of turn number 10, on the run down once again towards turn number 11. And this is a fight currently for the next second position out on track. Devon and Nando, second and third. Nando is really good undercut
now.
Yep.
Devon is winning DRS and Narwarp now. That gap was 2 seconds a couple of laps ago.
Oh, look at Nando though.
Here comes Nando, here comes the Alpine. This is the battle for possibly second position. Devon's pushing Nando all the way to the inside, but late on the brakes. No ERS for Nando, but the braking once again is perfect for Nando, and he is past Devon. Great move for the Alpine, but can he hold it? That's the big question here.
Yeah, there was a big lock-up there, actually, from Nando as well, and still got that car stopped, which is really impressive indeed. Nando now through, and he's into net second, now into 7th position. Of course, the likes of Tomasetto will be coming in. Yep, Tomasetto's coming in, Krypton in. Ari stays out, which is interesting. The AlphaTauri man currently there in 3rd. He'll be in the net lead. Oh, he will be in the lead of the race at this stage. Devon, though, is still hassling the back of Nando.
I think they're just going to wait and just hope for a safety car or something, because they were both at the back and they both have nothing to lose anyways. As we see now, Nando, Devon and the lot fly through. We'll have to wait and see where Tomasetto can come out. He'll be out of the points, I think, unfortunately, here for Tomasetto, but he could get back in. He's on good tyres, and we'll wait and see. He's going to come out in just ahead of Ricky, I believe. This could be a big one. Ricky needs to get past this Williams ASAP, as he's got to get the exit on the Williams. Round the outside, he's going to go through turn 2. It's an absolutely unbelievably brave move by Ricky, but he's got it done there. That's a difficult corner to make a move, despite it being flat out, and Ricky is up here to 12th. 2 more positions, James, and he's in the points.
Yeah, and Aries and Jake Marsh still yet to come in the pits. So actually, that's for 10th position. So Ricky is going to be in the points. And CC Brain's in the wall out of turn number 6, and I think maybe he got a couple of collision with Black Box, but it's a safety car. Safety car, and this saves Aries and Jake Marsh.
Yeah, Jake Marsh and Aries, and they have just got the gift from the heavens there. They'll be able to pull into the pits. They'll still drop way down the field, but hopefully not as much as others, and they still will be with them. But this could change the game here. We will see everybody bunch up, and we will see a safety car period. We haven't had one yet this race, of course. There was a few in Saudi Arabia, but certainly safety cars are not common, so you must cherish this little bit of a breather in action while you can get it, of course, for the drivers, not us. We want to see action 24/7, as we'll see Aries and Jake into the pits. And does anybody try softs here?
No.
Is it old enough, or just stay out on the mediums as Aries? Oh, I thought he was going to stay out, actually. As Jake, oh, Jake has just cut the white line there, and that's not a mistake you want to make.
Yeah, now stays out. Nando's staying out. I'm just watching the guys filtering through on a set of mediums. They're going to stay out. If they're lucky, I think Aries and Jake March might get ahead of Ron potentially here. Coming out of the final corner, Ron.
Be a bit close. I think Ron's going to stay ahead. Ron,
yeah, he is.
Well, yeah, he is going to stay ahead. I think they will filter. They'll
Whoa!
filter behind Stefano. Will they filter behind Johan?
Behind Stefano.
Jake filters straight in front of Ricky as Ari's just get ahead of Johan. But yeah, now Ricky, he stays in 12 after they've both pitted. That's not what he would have wanted. He now has 2 more spots to make up.
Yeah, that safety car I think has really done him in terms of the championship. Frankie, they're currently in 4th position. Have to do. Oh, Ron has crashed underneath the safety car. What on earth has happened there?
Oh, that's so unfortunate for Ron. I think he's just made a mistake himself, if I'm honest. As Black Box did pit. But, oh, that's so unlucky for the AlphaTauri. Ron was running a good race here today. He genuinely was performing. That's unfortunate for Ron.
Where is he? He's on the left-hand side.
His wheel disconnected. He's come straight in the chat. His wheel disconnected. He's told us straight away. Oh, that's the worst luck you could get.
I think what's even worse, though, is Black Box is back on a set of hard compound tyres.
Arguably worse, possibly. Maybe he was just coming in to change your front wing and he'll go back on the mediums or something. These guys are weird strategies.
Yeah, I think he will, to be honest. I think Black Box will probably go back on a set of mediums.
Yeah,
maybe.
He's on 14 lap all hards. He's hardly going to stay on these, is he?
No, 25 laps on a set of hards towards that end of the race. They're going to be absolutely shot.
He's not going to make up any spots because everyone else is on the fresh. No, he's definitely coming into the pits. There's no way this is the strategy for Black Box.
Yeah, the safety car's not
even. If it is, maybe the Twitter hate is deserved. But no, it's not the strategy. He will be coming into the pits for. Maybe he's just doing some laps in the hard so he can box for a set of softs here, James. That wouldn't be a bad call, actually.
No, I still think the softs are not going to get to the end of the race.
I don't think so, but is it worth a risk if you're down in P14 in the second last race of the season with nothing really to fight for?
Yeah.
We'll wait and see. He is going to stay. He is going to stay out.
Oh no, he's in.
He's in. It was a late call, but he is in, and I imagine it's for the mediums. He was just on, and Black Box was just taking a wing change. He could be for the softs. It could be really for anything. It might come in this here, but why not? But realistically, it's the mediums. It is the mediums, and another front wing change.
It is a front wing change. Interesting. So I wonder where Black Box might have. I wonder if Black Box then got caught up in that instant with Ricky a little bit early on, and that's why he's came in for a front wing change.
Could be, or he might have got hit by Ron, maybe.
Nah, Ron was off track.
Oh no, Ron was off track when he was, he was miles behind, so he definitely wasn't hit by Ron. It might have just changed his wing, because there's a bit of an issue on the game like that. There's a little selection for those if you don't league race or if you don't play F1 all that much, but you are enjoying PSGL. Firstly, thank you very much, but there's a little selection that you can do. It's to change your front wing. It's has auto yes and no, and on the old games and stuff, it used to work flawlessly, like all Codemaster settings did, and if it was on auto, when you had wing damage, it was change, but most of the time in this game, you do have to flick it to that yes option, and Black Box might have just forgot to do that, but there's no harm done anyways. He's now back on the same tyres as everybody else, a lap less on them actually than everybody else, and fresh front wing at the back. We'll see what Black Box can do.
Yeah, definitely. So looking through the comments, by the way, that are coming through, Ron saying, of course, his wheel disconnected. Tom Rubble going no. Frankie going no. Unfortunately, yes. TDB, let's go Rowan, my goat. And yes, Frankie, he also says. TDB, of course, QRT supporter. And the safety car is going to be coming in this lap. And that means now up, Rowan is the virtual Burt Malander. He is the virtual safety car. He can control the pace as he likes. And this is a role reversal, of course, from qualifying in Saudi Arabia. Now up, of course, was on the front row of the grid alongside Nando. Nando, this time around, though, is going to have to play second fiddle underneath the safety car restart to now up. And I think if I was now up, I'd go exit to turn 19.
Yeah, I think that is the call here. Of course, we've seen some great safety car restarts during the day. We've seen some brilliant VSC calls as well. Kimi Räikkönen's one of them in 2018, ending a 114 race drought. Can Narwarp possibly take a win here today? He certainly doesn't have a 114 race win drought, but we'll have to wait and see what the Williams can do. Is he going to go on the exit of 19, just like James says? No. Well, we'll have to wait and see as he's gearing up to go for it.
Yep, out of the final corner, in fact, now on the run towards the line, he gaps him to 0.5 of a second. Nando in behind, nothing really happening in the restart. Ricky had a really good start on the back of Jake Marsh, but hasn't actually came across to try and get that move done. Krypton on the back of Black Box as well. Oh, sorry, Krypton on the back of Tomasetto. Everyone stays in position coming through turn number 1. Now up leads the way. Nando in second. Devon there in third. Devon already on that EOS coming through the S section now through the left-hander of turns 5 and then through the right-hander of turn number 6. And Devon is on one here. Right on the back of Nando. 3.5 tenths of a second. Devon is the quickest underneath the safety car restart. Now it's the one that's got away though. And Devon now needs to apply. If he's got the pace, he needs to apply pressure to Nando and needs to apply it quickly.
That was arguably the quicker one before the safety car as well. So Devon flying, he's on good form here. We'll see can he attack Nando in towards turn 12.
I'd imagine so, but obviously no DRS on for another 2.5 laps or so. Now up as gap already. Nando for a second. Wow. Now up going, in terms of DRS, going absolutely hammer and tongs to the lead of the race. 1.2 seconds down the gap. He's just a lot of ERS compared to Nando and Devon. In behind, everyone filtering through. Stefano on the back of a Rocker's looking quite close. I thought he was going to send in towards turn 13. He doesn't know. Now it leads the way. Nando in second, Devon in third. Everyone continuing as they are. Ari's on the back of Stefano coming to the left-hander turn 15. Tomasetto on the back of Ricky as well. Nobody has actually gained or lost a position underneath the safety car restart. Very clean. Maybe the cleanest of the season, I think, in terms of safety car restarts. Now it leads the way. Nando in second, Devon in third at the end of lap 19 as Jake Marsh picks up a penalty on the exit of turn 18.
Stefano and Aries about to battle here. Stefano was gaining on Araka, but Aries is gaining as Ricky has dived Jake Marsh in the final corner. Jake Marsh ran wide. We've seen a bit of a mistake, but here comes the McLaren in towards turn number 1. This is going to be a huge move if Ricky can make it. If he can pull it off, it could have some major championship implications. Oh, he's actually been hit by Tomasetto, and Tomasetto has just thanked his lucky stars that he didn't hit off the championship leader. Jake Marsh holds his Ferrari in, but Ricky for the second time pulls a move around the outside into turn 2. Unbelievable stuff by the McLaren.
Yeah, good job. He's into P10, and now Jake Marsh into 11th outside of the points. He might have been outside of the points anyways. Krypton right on the back as well. Tomasetto, who might have picked up a little bit of left side end plate damage from wing as well, and he's off the track and certainly has picked up left side end plate damage, if not as a result of that little contact with Ricky in towards turn 1, which we saw now camera angles. Devon on the back of Nando running down the straight, and now he's using up all of that EOS to try and close in. He is closing in as well. 3.5 tenths of a second, now down to 3 tenths of a second in towards turn number 12. Devon's not going to be close enough though unless he absolutely sends it like Daniel Ricciardo on the brakes. He's still there in third position. Now still leads Nando in second, Devon in third. Luke Etheridge, by the way, I think was mentioned in the comment section about 100% race in Monaco for the commentators. A, no, and B, I don't think you'll see me out on track.
Yeah, I'm up for it. Let's do it. Devon is he's trying to make the move on Nando, but has Narwarp just is pushing too much too early because the gap is no longer extending, and Nando is actually gaining in as they head through turn 19. Of course, there is only 3 penalties on the grid. It's for Aries, Jake Marsh, and Tomasetto, and Tomasetto is pretty much out of this one with his wing damage. DRS now enabled. This is when we're going to start seeing some overtakes. There was no real overtake on the safety car restart. We're going to start seeing some now, especially from this man Devon, who will be looking to try and take a race win this season as Tomasetto does pull into the pits and retire. We have only 13 runners left, and that might be some of the lowest this season.
Yeah, 13. Unlucky for some, hopefully not unlucky for these drivers out on track at this moment in time. Now up leads the way, Nando in second, Devon in third, but you mentioned that, Devon right on the back of Nando once again, coming through the first sector, now into the middle sector, coming out of turns 8 and 9. Aries, though, it's 91% of EOS is the yellow flag in sector 1, and that's Tomasetto's AI coming out pit lane. Aries, though, right on the back of Stefano. I think this is going to be the move that's going to be pulled off rather sooner rather than later, as Devon there in third. Lose a bit of time out of the exit of turn 11. I don't think he's going to actually try and commit this move down in towards the left-hander of turn number 12. But Aries on the back of Stefano, running now down the straight. The AlphaTauri now on the back of the Williams. The Williams now under pressure, but even this move's not going to be pulled off, I don't think. And in fact, Stefano goes in very quickly on the back of a rocker. Doesn't get the job done, and the remain as they are, as the sun now begins to beat through the clouds here in Travis County.
Yeah, it's definitely this double DRS effect for the car in front that is helping, because of course everybody apart from Axa here and Frankie, or Frankie's just broke back in, has DRS. So it's just a constant. Everybody gets that extra speed, and you've got to be really late on the brakes to make an unconventional move if you want to get past here, as Devon is starting to fall off a little bit on Nando. Nando is closing in on Narwarp. They both have the exact same ERS usage, but Nando has that one crucial element of the drag reduction system. And of course, Narwarp doesn't have it, as he is leading the Grand Prix. We'll have to wait and see for some of the lower moves. Ricky is only scoring a point, and of course, the championship will carry on, but Frankie will have a huge advantage heading into the final race if it was to stay as it is.
That comes really nicely into my next point, because I've just been calculating at this moment in time, on map 22 out of 28, Frankie will not wrap up the championship at this stage. As I say, he needs to win the race. At this moment in time, he's 4th. Ricky down in 10th is gaining the point. There's a 3-point advantage that Frankie had over Ricky. Therefore, if you're doing the maths, it's going to be 10 points that Frankie is going to have over Ricky going into the final race of the season.
That's huge, because the PSGL point system, folks, for those at home who are wondering what it is, it's 16 for a win, maximum 17 over a weekend. A 10-point gap is huge to claw in, because, of course, it's a completely different point system, and it is very, very difficult to claw in huge margins. As we see in the rest of our tiers, of course, F1 you can watch after us, where Dirko may go for his title. Let's look at the two Hasses here.
Yeah, I thought Stefano was actually going to go for the move on a rocker in the first place, and nearly until it said the team, but he locks up again, and now Aries is right down the inside line. Where's he came from? The AlphaTauri now on the outside line, coming through the right-hander of the left-hander now of turn number 15. Stefano and Aries side by side. I think Aries is going to have the traction. He's going to have the move. Beautiful stuff by the AlphaTauri. He is through and he's into 7th. We've had a really, really good race, I think, tonight here in America. That move just proves that Aries through and he's into 7th, and Devon right on the back of Nando once again out the final corner.
That safety car saved Ari's race, and it's really, really good from, because of course Ron had a bit of a mishap, but Aries has been performing really well so far today. Johan might go for Stefano as well, and Johan's drove well today. He may not be the highest runner, but he certainly drove well. Ricky just needs all these guys in front to crash and let him up near Frankie. Ricky wants to minimalise the damage done today, as we are starting to see another Haas cause a bit of a train. This time it's both of the Hasses who are doing so, as Devon claws back within 0.5 of a second of Nando, and Nando claws back within 0.5 of a second of Narwarp.
But look who's on the back of these three as well. Frankie has now joined the fray, and he's only 0.5 of a second off the championship leader. He is within game-winning, or race-winning, poise and presence at this stage. He just makes a mistake out of turn number 11 though. Now down the straight in towards turn number 12. Frankie has got 10% of ERS. Jake Marsh through, and Ricky, yeah.
That's an unbelievable move here. There's a rocket and Axie swap, and Jake Marsh is past Ricky. Ricky will be looking to get that one back, or just look at something happens in front. Ricky needs a miracle really here if he wants to be able to win the title in Silverstone, because it's all going the Alfa Romeo's way so far.
Yep, and that's now going to be an 11-point gap that Frankie's going to have at this stage. And now, actually, speaking of that, he's back down the inside of turn 15, and now he gets that point back.
Jake Marsh wide. Brilliant block pass by Ricky, and that's a crucial one, because Ricky's now 8.5 of a second behind Johan. He needs to catch up because Jake wants points. Jake is fighting for an F2 future here. Ricky's fighting for a championship. This could be a really interesting battle towards the end. And of course, Krypton is just fighting to keep a PSGL legacy, I suppose you could say. Krypton has had an alright season, I suppose. As we see up the front, the gaps are just still oh so close, but nobody able to make a move.
They are. Jake Marsh locks up in towards turn number 1 on board there with Ricky in behind. Still in front there in P10. Jake Marsh 11, Krypton in 12, Blackbox there in 13. Now up again. It's this first sector he really struggles in now up, and this is why Nando and Devon are on the back of him, 0.4 of a second. But again, through this middle sector, now up, a little bit too slow for my liking. He is going to really up his pace. 33% of ERS. Nando is on 30%. Devon is on 27%. In fact, Nando's on 40%, I should say. And Frankie there is only on 13.
Nando. Excellent turn 11. Nando just loses all his time, and it's also unfortunate for him as we see Devon try to close in on Nando.
Aries side by side.
As Aries has broken.
He's going to go for 2.
He could go for both of them here, James. He is going to go for both of them.
Shot out of a cannon. Once again, AlphaTauri through and he's into 5th. And do you know what? There's still enough laps in this race, I think, for him to still go for potential moves as Ricky once again forced Jake Marsh out of the track, and Jake Marsh now in 11, Krypton now in 12, Blackbox now in 13. You have to believe in him, but he doesn't believe in himself going through the left-hander of turn 15 there. Now up leads the way, Nando in 2nd, Devon in 3rd, Frankie in 4th. Back to my point about the ERS, Frankie's only got 10%. Giorgio, the top 3 have got a lot more ERS than Frankie, and Frankie has just got to hope he doesn't get gapped to a 2nd, and it's nearly on the brink.
Yeah, Frankie's struggling, but to be fair, Frankie's probably really comfortable in 4th. He'll be getting it feared into his ear that Ricky is struggling in 10th, and most likely won't get anything more. But we'll see in this first sector here, you will see Nando catch up on the Williams. Nando is much better through the first sector, but the minute they hit turn 11, Narwarp's pace, boom, it just ramps up, and that's where he's gaining, as it's not as bad a first sector for Narwarp as he has been doing. on the previous laps, as Nando, you can see he's just closing in slowly and closing in slowly, and he runs a wide line through here through 9 and 10. And once we hit 11, if Nando does struggle to get an exit once again, it will be deja vu the last lap, but we see as he breaks in here, hooks the car in nicely. It's much better through there for Nando, but look, there's the exit problem, and now just pulls away.
But he's a lot closer this time around, Nando, compared to now. It was about a tenth closer. This means he will be running around 0.2 of a second, I think, down the straight in towards the left-hander of turn number 12. In fact, it is that. It's going to be around 2.5, 3/10 of a second down in toward the left-hander of turn number 11 once again. Johan getting on the back of Stefano as well. 8th and 9th position currently for them. Ricky there in 10th, currently still holding on to that final point-scoring position at this stage. Jake Marsh in 11, Krypton in 12, Black Box there in 13, currently doing a good job at this moment in time. Frankie, though, getting gapped by the front three, and this is trouble for Frankie. Wants to stay within that second, but he's only got 6% of ERS to do so, just within DRS range this time around, luckily. But now up leads the way. Nando in second, Devon in third. I think it's safe to say, between these three.
You weren't wrong about Aries, though, James. He's clawing in on the front four here, as Frankie's just dropped out, and Devon is really close to Nando here. And honestly, if I was Devon, I'd start looking for a move into one, because... Oh, no, hold on. He's almost spotted, and that'll allow Frankie back into DRS. That could be Devon's chance of a win gone.
And Black Box trying to go around the outside in the meantime on the back of Krypton through turn number 1. Now to the outside of turn number 2. Doesn't want to go side by side with the steward coming through the S section of turns 3, 4 and 5. That will be very silly from Black Box's perspective. Luckily he stays in behind, but he's applying a lot of pressure. And as you mentioned there, Devon made that mistake. Frankie now back within that DRS range. And Nando once again back within 4.5 of a second of the race lead. Now up there in the lead. Nando in second. I've got to be honest, as Nando now locks up in toward the left-hander turn 11. And that was a shocking exit there from Nando. Now back to Naup's favour. I think Nando was waiting until this final lap of the race. If he's too cocky and too careful, Devon will get him, and Devon probably will be on the back for this race lead.
Frankie, 0% ERS down that straight. Frankie is running scared, maybe, because Aries is clawing in and possibly could take P4 on track. Of course, he does have a penalty, meaning Aries might just be driving for nothing here, and he will keep a P5 finish, but every second he can gain is possibly another position, as Ricky is just on the back of a train here, and Ricky just seems too calm almost, as Devon is clawed back within Nando, and Nando, I don't know what way he's approaching this one, to be honest. I really don't.
I think Devon's going to attack maybe Nando in towards turn 1. If Nando gets a really bad exit, which he does, he slides out the corner. Devon, to be fair, not entirely too quick. He's going to be off the pace down in towards turn 1. And yeah, Nando using up a bit of ERS as well, just to try and pull away. And Devon's only got 10% of that ERS indeed. Johan on the back of Stefano. Really think Johan's just going to go for an absolute dive bomb down the inside line and pull off one of the best moves I think I've ever seen. I'm living above hope for that, but it is lap 27 out of 28. Only 2 laps to go, including this one. Now leads the way. Nando in second, Devon in third, but now once again, right under pressure. This time Nando is right on fire coming through the first sector. Devon right there as well. Frankie, you can probably discount at this stage unless there's contact. Nando now, though, does he want to put himself in the position of the race lead going on to the final lap of the race? I think not.
Not here, but maybe under pressure from Devon if he doesn't. Here we go. Here he goes, Nando. He's gone for it. He's burning and he's burning, and maybe he feels it over now. Here comes Nando.
Down the inside line in towards turn number 12. So late on the brakes, Nando gets the job done now for the race lead. Now up there in second, though, is going to give him a fight. And he's back down the inside in towards turn number 12. Doesn't get the job done. Devon now let into the mix as well. And Frankie's not entirely out of it, but he's been caught by Aries. Aries there right on the back of Frankie. Going to the back of picture. Nando, though, leads the way. Now up in second. Devon in third. I think that's a lap too soon.
I think so, but maybe Nando just knows he has it through the first sector, and that's going to be his game plan here. Who knows? It was a great overtake by Nando, nevertheless. Whether he wins the race or not, he's pulled off some fantastic moves into that corner. As Aries, I don't think he'll have enough on Frankie. I think Frankie might just have enough here. So here we go, weaving down the straight into turn 1. It is the highest elevation change on the calendar. Here comes now up, round the outside, in towards turn number 1. Can he pull it off? He's ran really wide. Devon's got to get the switch back. Is now up, just blown his chances.
I think he has. Nando now has got a really good first sector in him, and now he's 4.5 tenths cleared. Now it went too deep in towards turn number 1, and Devon's right on the back of him there as well. Frankie, as you can say, I can count out this now. Ricky's still in the top 10, so that means he's picking up that extra point. But Nando now, 6.5 tenths of a second. Coming to the left-hander at turn 8, through the left-hander now of turn number 9. And Nando now, 6 tenths of a second. Is that enough? 20% of ERS. Nando's on 22%. And if Nando's not careful, he might run out of fuel before the end of this lap. This is not over and done with just yet. But I think after that exit, now is going to have a really good fight down. 6 tenths of a second, but he is very quick in a straight line, the Williams. Now on the back, running down the straight, in towards turn number 12. He's gaining, but he's not getting enough, I don't think, unless it's an absolute send on the brakes. But Janae now absolutely locks up on the brakes. Tries to go for the switchback, and Nando's all out of shape. And now up now, from the pressure, coming through the right hand of turn 13, around the outside through turn 13. Nearly pushed them off track. And now Aries, Rocco and Axie are getting battling as well. And there's contact between them both. Now sends Nando round, and Devon's now into second, and maybe in with a chance of this race win. Now up leads the way from Devon in second, Nando in third, Frankie's still in there in fourth, but now up now through the final couple of corners. That's definitely going to look at by the stewards. Devon there in second, might be the fortunate one as a result. Now up around the final corner, on the run to the line, wins the American Grand Prix for now. Devon there in second, Nando in third, Frankie there in fourth, Aries as a result dropping down, and Aroka there in fifth and Axie in sixth. And that was a thrilling end to the the American Grand Prix.
Austrian, whatever it is, it was brilliant. What an end to the race. Ricky got ninth on the line there, meaning he'll pick up another point, but I think Frankie might get even more. I think Nahor could be in trouble for that one. It was a very audacious send in towards turn number 11 or 12, and I think 12, I think that move was just to put panic upon Nando and then get the move he did, but he did half spin Nando, and if I was Nando I'd be a little bit annoyed at that one, but oh well, we'll wait and see what the stewards have to say. But I think Frankie's in a great position in terms of the championship heading into the final round.
Yeah, I think, honestly, in terms of that incident, it might be a racing incident to some people, but then again, I thought it was a push to pass, and maybe, of course, the stewards might look into that, and I'm sure they will. Nando will be straight on in the Discord reporting that, because I know he will be absolutely annoyed, because he has just had a race win basically taken away from him, and that's just the bottom line. But great win, though, nonetheless, from now, who takes the race win for now out on the track. Of course, the stewards might have a look into that going into next week. What a thrilling race, though. Thrilling end between them both. In the end, all's fair in love and war, and now takes the win, takes the fastest lap of the race as well. Devon there in second, Nando in third, second, third, and fourth on the grid. First, second, and third in the end. Frankie there, by the way, ninth up to fourth. I think was a very good drive. He kept in it in the final lap of the race as a result of that contact. Aroka there in fifth in the end. Great drive from him. Axie there in sixth, Aries there in seventh, Stefano there in eighth, Ricky there in ninth. I think he got that because Jake Marsh picked up a 3-second penalty right down towards the back end of the field. Johan there picking up the top 10.
Ricky dived Johan into the last corner.
Oh, Johan at the last corner. Oh, yeah, 500ths of a second separating them. 9th and 10th. Krypton there in 11th. Black Box there in 12th. Very unlucky once again. Jake Marsh there in 13th. And then the DNFs are Thomas Etto, Ron, CC Brain, Will Murdoch, Firefox, Luke Picard, and Nicole Sauce right down at the back of the field. Great win from now up, though. Of course, everyone can have their own say in the comment section. I'm absolutely impressed with that. But TDB in the comment section saying, "Yeah, Roman, grosse dub." So I'm guessing he's dubbing now up there.
Yeah, look, we could be all day guessing some languages. As I think we had a bit of Estonian from you or something earlier, anyways. As yeah, what a great race! Could that be race of the season? Possibly. Could that be race of the season? We'll have to wait and see. As Nicosos has actually asked Krypton, like, you can remove me from the competition. I don't want to race anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate to hear, actually, from Nicosos. Hopefully, that can all be resolved.
I think it's because obviously he got the 5-second penalty underneath the end of the qualifying session, and he thought it was going to be restarted. Yeah, he thought it was going to be restarted in the lobby. I can understand the reason around that, and to be honest, I'm sure every single person on this grid and every single person that's watching the stream would probably do the same as well. They would probably obviously want to try and get as much result as possible out of their own race. It's only an exception with Nicosos. If it was 5 or 6 drivers, then I could see the understanding for a restart, but obviously, from Nicolas' perspective, I know I'd be annoyed, but the best way you can channel that annoyment and that anger is out on track by getting moves done, and unfortunately, ended up being rather frustrating the first 2 laps and then out the race.
Yeah, I think so, and I think that was pure frustration is what caused that DNF. And I do hope everything can be resolved. I like Nick Kostos as a driver.
Yeah.
He's a very good driver, and he's had a good season realistically in his McLaren. And McLaren could be on for a championship this season if Ricky can pull it together in Silverstone. It's going to be tough though. It really is going to be tough.
Aroka, by the way, I'm not sure if this is a joke or if this is actually serious. Aroka's put in the comment section in Discord, he had 50-37 wings. Weird.
Yeah, I've just seen that. Maybe that explains some of the gaps. And the thing is, we thought Aroka had great straight line speed, so I'm kind of very scared. For anyone who isn't a setup geek, that setup would be used around circuits maybe like Monaco, possibly more than Circuit of the Americas.
Yeah, bit of a weird one. Devon, by the way, is asked in the comments section as well, where do we need to go for an interview? And that is into the interview rooms chat, the waiting room, I should have said to him. But yeah, the waiting room. Hopefully you can see it. I think we tried to interview him earlier on in the season and he couldn't see the channel. So, obviously dependent on
We're
that.
going to get an hour one as well. Agent Evan is on the case now. I can do a short one. So we'll try to get these guys in now.
Fantastic stuff. Hopefully now can join. Devon wants to go on PS Party. No, we're not in PS Party. We're on Discord. We can do it through remotely. We will interview now quickly because I think he has to go maybe to do some schoolwork or whatever. Of course, we are taking valuable time out of their lives as well. But what we will do though, in the meantime, while we obviously get the guys in, is look through the calendar. Of course, there's only one race left. It's Silverstone. What can our viewers expect going to Silverstone? Because it is one of those most historic races on the F1 calendar.
We should see a cracker of a race, and we also can see a Devon interview. If Devon's ready, I can move him in if you are, James.
I nearly put him in the wrong commentators box. I didn't want to. I didn't want him to join Jess and comments. Let's do it doing the commentary, of course, for F1. But Devon, hopefully you can hear us okay. Obviously, great result from you out on track. P2, maybe going into that P1 after the contact on the final lap.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I don't think. I don't know if there's going to be a penalty or something. But finally a good qualifying for me. So I was really happy with P3 in my qualifying. So in the last lap, I already thought this is gonna end in tears. So they are gonna fight, and I'm gonna go through or something. I don't know, but I knew it was gonna end in tears. So that's what resulted with me in P2 and maybe in P1.
Yeah, maybe in P1, obviously now it might be under investigation as a result of that incident coming through turn 15. But from your perspective, I think that's your best race of the season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, exactly. I was really happy about myself. Finally, a good race for me. I finally a podium because my best result was in I don't know which race, but fourth. To be honest, I think so. Yeah, I'm really happy. Really happy with this podium, and really happy with maybe P1.
Yeah, maybe P1 indeed. Who knows? We're just obviously trying to create something on the rumour mill, I think, here in the commentary box, rather than getting the official facts, of course, from the stewards. Evan, I'm going to come across to you. Any questions?
Not necessarily. I just would like to know before the pit stop, you were gaining rapidly on Narwarp. Did you just decide, you know what, we're going to go for this, or was Narwarp just losing a lot of time?
Yeah, I was gaining a bit, not necessarily, but
You gained a good second. To be fair, it was quite an impressive couple of laps.
I didn't know about that. I know I was closing in, but not that fast. So yeah, then I thought, then I heard that for the first time now that I gained a second. So I don't know. Maybe I could go for it, but yeah, really yeah. How do you say that? Really easy to say afterwards. That's the word.
Yeah, definitely. So, and obviously, I think we're going to go on to the same question, anyways, Evan. Silverstone for round 11, final round of the championship. What are your goals for the final race of the season?
Of course, to win, but I think that is going to be difficult. But I am really confident. I practiced already a bit, so no, I'm really confident for that race.
Really confident for that race. Interesting. We may see you back then in the interviews room next week. Go and enjoy your evening, Devon.
Yes, you too, guys.
Thank you.
You're very welcome indeed. Now, by the way, in the Discord is also saying...
Yeah, we're not going to get him in.
Yeah, he's got to go, unfortunately. And the other one was Nando, who I think also
actually
has to
did
go.
say he would do an interview for us, but he hasn't joined the channel, unfortunately, and I don't think we're going to get him. But Nando hasn't been seen since the end of the race. Could possibly be a case of he doesn't want to get he doesn't want to get annoyed, and he doesn't want to be annoyed after a possible collision. One man who is annoyed is certainly Nikosos, and
Yeah,
hopefully he can just calm down. Of course, we can't show you any Discord messages. That's all private and confidential. But he's not a happy bunny, I suppose we could say, if you'd like to put it that way. He's certainly not happy with Krypton. So if those two get side by side on track next week, we are in for a good one, folks. And, looking forward to Silverstone. I think it's going to be a brilliant season finale here in the F2 tier, and you do not want to miss it.
Yeah, I'm looking at the messages with Nicole, so I mean, we've already gone on about it, but there's a time and a place, I think, and obviously after the race you want to try and vent out a bit of frustration, but at the end of the day you've got to try and pent up that frustration and deliver it out on track. And I think that's what Nicole should have done tonight, and obviously going into Silverstone, who knows, that 5-second penalty, as I said in the commentary there, should have been removed. Whether or not we should have been in terms of a restart remains to be seen. I'm sure the stewards will have a look at that. I'm sure the admins in behind the scenes will be looking at that as well. We'll be looking at the current glitches in the game and obviously trying to create a better racing environment for everyone here in PSGL, because that is what we are all wanting to see, including you guys at home, of course, being the viewers. Jake Marsh, by the way, in the chat as well, saying, do you think there'll be a lot of penalties from that race? I think so, for a couple of drivers, certainly.
I think a couple, but not many.
Yeah, in the end, it was a really good race, though.
It was. We only had one safety car. There wasn't many collisions. I think Narwarp could have the book thrown at him a little bit for that move at the end, or, well, we've seen examples set with the Simon Weigang Jan Otmere incident in PCF1 last season, so maybe they'll go for a similar sort of thing with that. I don't think we'll have the Twitter outrage after it. I wish F2 did have that much attention. But I can't see too many people getting penalties. Maybe Black Box was involved in an incident. I can't remember who it was with. Maybe a penalty there. There may be penalties elsewhere, but I can't see too much. I can definitely see Narwarp under investigation, but other than that, I can't really remember. But that might just be my memory fading me.
Yeah, Black Box, I think, was in an incident with Luca Kart, if I'm not mistaken, through the S section.
DNF'd.
Yeah, they DNF'd indeed. Yeah, Luca Kart DNF. Black Box finished the race, so obviously there might be a penalty coming the way because he finished the race. Obviously, what we will do, though, I think, is sign off the stream at this point, because PSF1 is live, along with other PS tiers as well. You can catch the formidable duo, not of Evan Dalton and Jessica Ball, of Jessica Ball and Aidan Carter, who is back fully recovered after COVID. And of course, you can tune in for the action right now, because I think it's coming towards the end of qualifying there. So we're not going to hold you up too much longer. We will play our ending advertisements and intermissions and whatever else. We have been, of course, James Head and Evan Dalton. Really hope you enjoyed the stream. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, tick the notification bell, of course, if you're brand new. Check the description as well for all of our sponsors, including Grid Rival and, of course, our fantastic sponsors at GT Omega, which I would show you my chair, but I can't be bothered, and I haven't got my camera on either. Because
show you mine too, but
it's IKEA.
Yeah, it's an IKEA chair. It's not GT Omega.
Anyways, we would raffle on, honestly, for an hour if we were given the podcast, but still...
Just if you're wondering about PSF1, folks, well, firstly, why aren't you watching it? And secondly, race has just started. Legend leads into turn 1 in a wet race, so go over and watch that one now, folks.
Oh, well, I'm going to...
leave you to it.
Yeah, I'm going to end the stream now, if that's the case, and if it's a full wet race, God help them. Thank you so much for watching for PSF2, and until next time, goodbye.
This broadcast was brought to you by GT Omega and Grid Rival, proudly supporting PSGL.